made, it is other issue. But there is a case that was resolved yesterday asking Supreme Court to give strong directions not to have legislators with criminal background, not to allow candidates to contest elections who are charged of grave criminal offences. But Supreme Court said it is not the job of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court should not cross its Lakshmana Rekha. But Supreme Court advised the government, the parliament, to make a law, strict law, not to allow criminals entering into the politics. Not to allow criminals entering into the politics. Criminalization of politics is a very important issue nowadays. Last year, Supreme Court said and government approved, fast track courts should be established to try the cases with respect to the legislators. With respect to the legislators who are already in legislative mode, if there is a criminal case on them, if there are cases on them, fast track courts should be established to try their cases, to resolve the cases, to convict the cases or to discharge the crime very fast. This was a judgment last year in Lok Prahari case. Coming back, in Maldives, new government, Ibrahim Mohammed Soli government, Maldivian Democratic Party have come into power with 58.3% of votes. Mr. Abdullah Yamin got 41.7% of votes. Abdullah Yamin got 41.7% of votes, whereas Maldivian Democratic Party belongs to Mr. Soli got 58.3. Mr. Nasheed, who was very favorable to India, the former president of Maldives, backed Mr. Soli. Now there is a chance that the Maldivian government can review and scrutinize all the important investments and projects of China in Maldives, which is in the favorable mode to India. India from the beginning wanted to have democratic process to be established in Maldives. Now India is happy for this move that democracy got established properly in Maldives. Donald Trump have said that he is going to conduct second summit with the Kim, the North Korean president, very soon. Donald Trump said on day before yesterday that he is going to have summit with North Korean Kim very soon, second summit. As you all know, there is a bitter entanglement last year between North Korea and America. Now America and North Korea have shown that they are exchanging an olive branch. They were in very good friend, now not in war terms, at least if not in good terms. And few months back they met at Singapore and again they are going to meet. Few days back there was a summit between North Korea and South Korea, and again Trump said there is some favorable move towards next summit. Sushma Swaraj is now in UN General Assembly, for a week long issues, and now she is going to focus on South-South cooperation. Sushma Swaraj is going to attend many bilateral and multilateral meetings. Many bilateral and multilateral meetings under the auspices of United Nations General Assembly. 73rd UN General Assembly meeting is going to take place. 73rd UN General Assembly is going to take place, and Sushma Swaraj is going to focus on climate change, South-South cooperation, climate change, digital infrastructure, sustainability. Climate change, South-South cooperation, digital infrastructure and sustainability. So 73rd United Nations General Assembly meeting is going to be held now. Sushma Swaraj, our External Affairs Minister, is in visit now to UN General Assembly. Next important news, International Solar Alliance. In 2015, in Paris Climate Summit, Indian Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi have announced International Solar Alliance to reap solar energy so as to be a future energy. There are 122 tropical countries, the countries which are in tropical and subtropical regions. If they form alliance, they can form an alternative energy called renewable energy, solar energy. And the first General Assembly of International Solar Alliance will be inaugurated on October 2nd. At October 2nd, the headquarters of the first ever international headquarters of ISA, for that matter any other international headquarters, first ever headquarters are in Gurugram, India. They are at Gurugram. International Solar Alliance is a major initiative of Prime Minister Modi in the Paris Climate Summit. So, International Solar Alliance on 6th December 2017 became a legally binding agreement. On 6th December 2017, it became a legally binding agreement. Till date, 47 countries have signed. Till date, 47 countries have signed and 19 countries have ratified it. International Solar Alliance, very important. The headquarters are at Gurugram, India. Gurugram, nothing but Gurugram, near New Delhi, India. They are at NICE Center, National Institute of Solar Energy. There is a center in India called NISC, National Institute of Solar Energy. In that ISA headquarters are located. The ISA idea itself is mooted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. International Solar Alliance. Nepal is going to become the first country in the world to double its tiger population. Nepal is going to be the first country in the world to double its tiger population. And in 2009 there are 121 tigers in Nepal. Now there were 235 tigers. In 2009 there were 121 tigers and in 2018 there were 235 tigers. Nepal is the first country in the world which have double, though the tiger population is very less. Which state in India tops the tiger population? Karnataka. Karnataka in India tops the tiger population. What is the second state that tops the tiger population? Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand. First is Karnataka. Even for elephant population, the first is Karnataka. For tiger population and elephant population, first is Karnataka. Law Ministry have revealed data recently. There were 19 judges, only 19 judges per 10 lakh population. There were only 19 judges per 10 lakh population. That we have to think it of. There were only 19 judges per 10 lakh population. Coming to today's Hindu paper, India is going to increase tariffs on non-essential imports. As you all know, rupee is depreciating. India is trying to impose more tariffs on non-essential imports. That means if you import more goods, you have to pay more dollars. As you have to pay more rupees to purchase a dollar, now dollar have become costly. Our imports we have to pay in dollars. So India is now reducing its imports. Even India is trying to reduce its oil imports. So basically on non-essential imports we are imposing tariffs. On non-essential imports we are imposing tariffs. And you all know Yemen government won the elections. And the Supreme Court referred an issue of female genital mutilation to 5-judge constitutional bench. 5-judge constitutional bench. And it is also called cuffs. Female genital mutilation, also called the practice of cuffs. KHAFZ. One community in India, Dawoodi Bohra sect, DAWOODI, Dawoodi Bohra sect in India practice female genital mutilation. Supreme Court referred this issue to 5-judge constitutional bench. Whether it affects women dignity or whether it affects the fundamental right to personal liberty of women or whether it is a religious practice which have to be allowed. This case was referred to constitutional bench. Let us wait for the judgment. Next article, long road ahead. Long road ahead. This is with respect to Ayushman Bharat. Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. See, 40% of Indian population, almost 50 crores, will be covered under Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana based on socio-economic caste census. Based on socio-economic caste census. And here we should understand a point. 3,500 crore is the estimated cost of this Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. 3,500 is the estimated cost of Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. But the thing is, how government is going to implement it is a big question. In healthcare there are three sectors: primary, secondary, tertiary. Unless we prevent the disease, unless we address the disease at the initial stage, in the preventive stage, you cannot bring all the diseases to secondary and tertiary treatment. So it is better to address the issue in the primary healthcare itself. So the focus in India should be more on primary healthcare services than secondary and tertiary. The other is saying, unless you kill the issue with primary, unless you make primary healthcare sector very strong, there is no use of addressing secondary and tertiary. This is what is the gist of the article. So you have to take care of primary health. Prevention is more important than disease cure. Disease prevention is more important than disease cure. That's really important. So unless you kill the issues in the primary level, unless you solve the issues at the primary level, Ayushman Bharat cannot be completely successful. Next article, after Salzburg, SALZBURG, after Salzburg, Theresa May and Brexit, a buzzword. After Britain leaving European Union, what sort of relation Britain will have with European Union? Will it be in the single market? Will it be in the customs union? What sort of arrangement you are going to make? What is the Brexit plan? Or will you have single market only in goods and services? Or will you have single market in labor also? No finalization has arrived. The draft proposal made by Theresa May was refused by European Union officials. The draft proposal made by Theresa May was refused by European Union officials. If situation goes like this, Britain may exit European Union without any plan, without any future arrangement, which is more disastrous. If situation goes like this, Britain may go out of European Union without any future plan. Okay, next, manufacturing nationalism. Manufacturing nationalism. In this article, there is a word called surgical strike. There is a word called surgical strike. If you understand the meaning of the word, it's enough from this article. Try to understand. Between India and Pakistan, we have many wars. 1948, 1965, 1971, and Kargil War 1999, and 2016 Pathankot attacks. And you all know, in the borderline we have eyeball to eyeball concentration. All these things you all know. Then what is a surgical strike? A surgical strike is a strike which India adopted in 2016, entering into Pakistan territory, not causing any harm to innocents or civilians, but only attacking the terror outfits. Only attacking the terror outfits. This is called surgical strike. In the beginning of 2016, the question have come in GS in 2016, already an surgical strike and hot pursuit. If any Newt and army chief said this is a time for again next surgical strikes, that is a different issue. But whenever the word surgical strike, hot pursuit, cold start doctrine, full spectrum deterrence, these words are very crucial for the exam. Okay, cold start, hot pursuit, surgical strikes, full spectrum deterrence, these words are very crucial. And next article, missed opportunity or ill timing. Missed opportunity or ill timing. India cancelled defense ministerial talks. Foreign ministerial talks with Pakistan. So whether it is a missed opportunity or ill timing, only time has to tell. We cannot decide. We cannot decide. And there is a very big article, an indefensible ordinance. An indefensible ordinance. There is an article, an indefensible ordinance. Let us discuss. See, President of India can issue ordinance according to 123. The governor of a state can issue ordinance according to 213. An ordinance can be promulgated by the President in the matter of urgent public importance when the houses are not in session, or when one house is in session and the other house is not in session. The President cannot promulgate ordinance when both houses are not in when both houses are in session. The President cannot promulgate ordinance when both houses are in session. The ordinance making power of the Parliament is a legislative. The ordinance making power of the President is a legislative power. The ordinance making power of the President is a legislative power. Now listen. The legislative power and ordinance making power are coextensive. The ordinance cannot be made by the President where legislative power cannot extend. Article 123, clause 3. It says the ordinance making power of the President and legislative power of the Parliament are coextensive. The ordinance making power of the President and legislative power of the Parliament are coextensive. Here, if a law is made by the Parliament which is against the fundamental rights, it can be declared as null and void. Am I right? Judicial review. When a Parliament makes a law which is against fundamental rights, it can be declared as void. In the same way, if the President makes an ordinance, it is as good as law made by the Parliament. That means President ordinance can also be questioned in the judiciary like normal law. Like an ordinary law, you can also question the President ordinance. Here comes the entire argument of the other. He says, instant triple talaq, irrevocable divorce, instantly is null and void. If anybody practices that, he will get 3 years criminal punishment. It's a crime and the offence is cognizable. So you are taking away the liberty of a person, that means the fundamental right of a person, without defining what is void, without defining what is wrong in that. You are not properly defining what is mistake in that. So he is telling 3 years criminal imprisonment for a family issue is too much. So there should be a proper debate in the Parliament. Why you have issued ordinance? This is the first thing. But one point, the ordinance can be judicially reviewed. As you all know, in R.C. Cooper versus Union of India, the Supreme Court said there can be a judicial review on the ordinance. And Indira Gandhi tried to take away this review powers by 38th Constitutional Amendment. But again, Janata Party by 44th Constitutional Amendment gave the review powers to the court. Recently, there was a case, Krishna Kumar Singh case. In that case, the Supreme Court told, after the ordinance is passed, immediately in the Parliament session, the ordinance should be made as a bill. The ordinance should be made as a bill and Parliament should consider it. Parliament should consider it. But I will tell you, everything is okay, but this debate should go in public and in the Parliament. You cannot completely support the ordinance or completely differ with the ordinance. On the one side, it needs to protect the rights of women. On the other side, the liberty of any individual cannot be crushed. At the same time, religion and its importance should also be ignored. So all the things should be given a proper balance. All the things should be given in the name of religion we cannot take away fundamental right. In the name of protecting the rights of women we cannot take away fundamental rights of a man. At the same